right, so we're going to deal with 4 ratios questions, exam type questions, right? So let's go. So the ratio of teachers to male students to female students in a school is 3 to 17 to 18 respectively, right? So before we even go any further, this ratio is 3 sections, right? Now, how many parts in this ratio represents the teachers? How many parts? Remember, when we do ratios, we do it in parts. 3. Excellent. 3 parts represents the teachers. Order matters when we are doing ratios, right? So 3 parts represents teachers. How many parts represents male students? Excellent. How many parts represents 18? Sorry, how many parts represent female students? 18. I give already the answer, right? So we clear that, right? So if the total number of students is 630, determine the number of teachers in the school, right? Now I told you all the number 1 mission when we are doing ratios is to find the value of 1 part. Now if I say the total number of students, right? Let's first figure out what will be the total parts representing students, right? Understand what I write here, right? Total parts, I put parts representing students. How many parts represent male students again? How many parts represent female students? So how much is the total amount of parts representing students in general? 17 for male, 18 for female. So how much is the total amount? What we have to do? Add. Excellent. So the total will be 17 representing male plus 18 representing female, which will give me 35 parts. So 35 parts represents the amount of students in the school. But then the question went on to say, but the question gave us the total amount of students in the school. What will be the total amount of students in the school? Excellent, my son. Excellent. So, could I proceed to say that 35 parts is equal to 630? And if 35 parts is equal to 630, what will be my working to figure out what 1 part is? 630, yeah, 630, that's all I'm gonna write that better, but very good. 35 into 630, right? Which is actually that 630 divided by 35. So how much represents 1 part, my children? Proper thing. 1 part is equal to 18 students. So my children, listen to me. I said it last day, I'm saying it now again, right? Once you find out what 1 part is, you can flex any way you want. You can find out what 3 parts are, you can find out what 17 parts are, you can find out what 18 parts are, and so forth, right? What did the question ask us, guys? Is 1 part is equal to 35, isn't it? Sorry, 1 part is equal to 18. It's not 18 students, it's 18, right? 1 part is 18. So there we go. Determine the number of teachers in the school, right? Somebody else saying so. Oh, zoom out. Right? So determine the number of teachers in the school. I told you all, once we know what 1 part is, we can find any amount of parts. How many parts represent teachers in that ratio? 3. So if 3 represents teachers, I need to find what 3 parts would be. So if 1 part is 18, what would 3 parts be, my children? 18 multiplied by 3, which will be 54 teachers. Everybody clear there? Proper thing. Right. So we have this question now. Let's read it, let's analyze it, let's try to figure out what is going on, right? So concrete tiles are made using buckets of cement, sand, and gravel mixed in the ratio 1 to 4 to 6, right? Let's start with cement. Well, it's buckets of everything, right? So I'm going to say buckets instead of parts, right? How many buckets of cement is represented within this ratio? How many buckets of cement? 1. How many buckets of sand?
4.
How many buckets of gravel? So you all ever see cement, or what they call it? They call it like when you're mixing everything together. You ever see how they mix it? They put everything on the ground and then they will throw a bag of cement on it and then they mix it up, right? So the mixture that they are saying, that CSEC is saying, is that they put 1 bucket of cement, 4 buckets of sand, and 6 buckets of gravel. Everybody good there? How many buckets of gravel are needed for 4 cement? Now, one cement. Here, how this ratio is interpreted, right? So for every 1 cement, right? So it's like for every 1 cement. So for every 1 C, I need 4 sand. And I need 6 gravel. Everybody good there? For every 1 C. So if I have 4 C, and for every 1 C, I need 4 sand. Come in now, bro. Right? Because they want to know how much gravel. For every 1 C, I need 6 gravel. For every 1 cement, I need 6 gravel. How much gravel would I need for 4 cement? What do I have to do? Excellent. 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 So buckets. Yep. Buckets. Buckets of gravel will be equal to 4, because it's 4 buckets of cement, by 6, listen, 6 gravel to every 1 cement. So that will be 24 gravel. Everybody good there? Everybody good there, my children? Yep. Nice. So we found out the first part. The second part, they said 20 buckets of sand are used. How many buckets of each of the following will be needed, right? So for that 20 buckets of sand, how much cement would I need? Bear in mind that for every 1 cement, right, I need 4 sand, right? So how much cement would I need for that 20 sand? How many buckets of cement? Let me hear all the ideas.
5.
5. Excellent. Excellent. Now we talk about, so buckets of cement will be actually equal to the 20 sand divided by the 4. Because for every 4 sand, I must have how much cement? For every 4 sand, I must have 1 cement. So 20 into 4 would give me 5. Everybody good there? So we're now going to proceed to find out how much gravel we need. But remember, for the question, we found out how much cement we're using. So I can just take this cement and we've got how much gravel I need now. So 5 cement, how much? For every 1 cement, remember, let me see you remember it. For every 1 cement, how much gravel? Proper thing. So if I have 5 cement, how much gravel will be needed? How many buckets of gravel? Excellent. Six multiplied by 5. Everybody in agreement? So this will be how much? 30 gravel. Right. A sum of money is shared between Aaron and Betty in the ratio 2 to 5. Aaron received $60. How much money was shared altogether? If Aaron received $60, how many parts represent Aaron? 5. No? Solomon dreams are 2 parts. Yeah, 2 parts represents Aaron. How many money did Aaron receive?
60.
So 1 part, 60 divided by 2, which would be, so remember when we're doing these type of ratio questions, the mission is to find out what 1 part is, right? Everybody good there? So, therefore, what he asks us to find out, how much money was shared altogether? What would be my total parts? How much is the total parts? It would be 2 plus, where you see 3? 5, which is equal to, so therefore, my total share is 7 parts, so it'll be 7 multiplied by how much is 1 part? Remember how much 1 part is? Let's go. So 7 multiplied by 30 would give me 210. Yeah, correct. We keep doing this, right? $210 over dollar sign. That's okay. That's okay. There you go. Next one. I want to do all these, because I'm gonna come back to ratios next week. So I'll look at my 5 minutes, right? Let's go. A metal is made from copper, zinc, and lead in the ratio 13 to 6 to 1. Question: how many parts represent copper? How many parts represent zinc? How many parts represent lead? So they said the mass of the zinc is 90. Find the mass of the metal. The metal will be all of them together. So zinc is 90. So how many parts will be equal to 90? How many parts represent zinc? 6 parts will be equal to 90. 6 parts is 90, my children. How much will be 1 part? 90 divided by, which is, I'm proud of Olive Oil. Let me make him proud here today. So 1 part will be equal to 15. They want the mass of the metal. That will be the total parts. Everybody agrees? So how much will be my total parts? Let's add it. What we adding? 13 plus 1. Excellent. Which will give me, let's go, 20. So therefore, what are we trying to find? The mass of the metal. Mass of the metal will be the 20 multiplied by how much is 1 part, my children? Which will give me 300. 300 what by? Kilograms. The mass you're working with. Right? And last ratios question. Everybody get this, right? You can post the video on YouTube, so you can always just pause it and copy it down, right? Last one. A total of 120 students at 10 Top View High School. The ratio of teachers to students will be 1 to 30. So how many parts represent teachers? How many parts represent students? Let's go. How many teachers are in the school? But how many students is it at by? How many parts represent students again? 30 parts would be equal to 120. So 1 part would be 120 divided by 3. 30. So what's 1 part? 4. Yeah. 1 part would be equal to 4. So therefore, the teachers would be equal to 4 multiplied by how many parts represent teachers is 1. And there's 1 teacher to every 30 students. So therefore, you need 4 teachers. Next part of the question, it said 2/5 of the students own personal computers. How many students do not own personal computers? So I'm going to put fraction that do not own computers. And all that form period now, eh? Yeah. Oh gosh, miss. Oh God. right, Ola, we gotta look off. We'll have a look.